welcome to Crafting Unedited. My name is Sierra, and today I'm going to show you how to select your materials and how to customize them in Design Space. So I've done a lot of tutorials recently in Design Space, and I wanted to show you guys this one. It's pretty important to know, and it's a really neat feature that I did not know about until I accidentally came across it one day, and I think that it would be very, very helpful for you. So if you'd like to see my other tutorials, go ahead, subscribe, and hit the alert button so that when I post these tutorials and other fun crafty things, you can be alerted. All right, so let's dive in, shall we? Excuse me. So you can see here on my screen that I have some like random little boom, pow, kapow, bam. Fun things. So it's for a comic book style thing that I'm doing. It's a surprise for someone, so I'm not going to go into too much detail as to what they really are, but that's kind of where I'm going for here. So these are going to end up being used as removable vinyl, but I want to show you my tips and tricks on this one. So we're going to go ahead and go over to your little drop down thing over here. And that's the 3 lines in the top left hand corner. You're going to go ahead and select that. And you'll see like your name, view your profile, home, canvas, machine setup, calibration, manage custom materials. So this is where you can go in and manage your custom materials. So it's pretty cool. You have to select what device. I'm going to go ahead and use the maker. So it's going to think a little bit about what materials you can use with this machine. So here it tells you all about each and every material that you can select in Design Space. It is so many for the maker. And some of it uses a ton of pressure. Look at this, almost 2,000, over 2,000, 2,300, 3,000. Holy cow, that is insane. That's a lot of pounds of pressure, 3,500. Holy wow, I did not realize that. I've played around with this, but not to that extent. Here, you can also, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and this is for whatever machine you have, Joy, Maker, Explore, Family, any of them, you can add new material. So how you do that is you can add, let's say, what do I want to add? Maybe parchment paper. Fun fact, you can definitely cut parchment paper on your Cricut. Not sure what you'd use it for, but you can definitely... Oh, and now it's going to be a butthead and not allow me to save it. Whatever. But that's how you would do it. Once you add your name and you save it, you'll then be able to add the pressure, and then up here, I think it's multi-cut, so how many times you want it to go through, what blade type. All right, so since it's going to be a but and not let me add it, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. So some of the stuff I've never heard of. See, wax paper's on there. Zipperline, not sure what that is whatsoever. It's interesting. I thought this was like Velveeta at first. I really had a moment there. But it's not. It's a type of fabric. All right, and then over here, so at the top, you have your material name, your cut pressure, so that's the amount of pressure that it's going to put down on your material to cut it, multi-cut, how many times it's going to pass through the system, and blade type. So how I accidentally fell upon finding this was I was cutting some chipboard, and I think that it was damask chipboard. So it uses the knife blade, but look at this. It passes through 12 times. Now, if you don't use a specific chipboard, passing it through 12 times is insane because it will end up cutting through your mat. Trust me. So what I did was I went in here and I edited, and you can change how many times it passes through. Geez, why is Design Space being such a turd? All right, it's not allowing me to edit it. All right, so on that note, you can also, for chipboard, use one of the other materials. I don't remember what I ended up doing. I think I just ended up pausing it because I remember now that you cannot change knife blade settings. But if you go to rotary blade, you can change the amount of pressure, the amount of times, all of that good stuff. Same thing with fine point blade. You can change it to how many passes you want it to have. Interesting. I never thought to cut the cutter mat protector. That's the clear film that goes over your mats. You can change how many times you want it to pass through. Apparently, it can only go up to 9. You cannot change the blade type. There's certain things that it will allow you to change, and then there's certain things that it won't allow you to change. But on the materials that you make down here, the custom materials that you create, whenever it decides to let you do so, you can change it to whatever. So if you have one of these things like that Damask chipboard and you know the pressure setting that you want, you would just add the material and then add that same pressure setting, but then add a different amount of times that it would pass through and use the knife blade. All right, so there's that for you. So that's your custom materials management here. That's what all these are. This is what everything that the Cricut machine or the Maker machine can cut. I'm sorry, guys. I am struggling today. We're renovating our first floor, and I'm just tired. Moving, renovating, anything to do with any of that is a lot of work, and it exhausts you. It really does. But I wanted to get on here, and I wanted to show you guys this stuff because it's really, really useful to know. All right, so next we're going to go over to your material selection when you're ready to make your project. So I go over to make it in the top right-hand corner. Here we have all of my fun words, and it spaced it really weird. Like there's a little space here, a big old space here, and an even bigger space here. Design Space, you crack me up. All right, looks good. I'm not actually going to cut this because I want to play around with it and show you guys. All right, so you're going to mirror or not mirror. That's over here on the left-hand side. Mirror is for iron-on or window decals. But trust me on this one. I've done this the wrong way many of times. If you're using a window cling, iron it on or use the iron-on setting for mirror. Always mirror. Mirror, 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 mirror. Trust me. Post it, create a sticker on your Maker or your machine, mirror your image. All right, so we're going to go to, why does it have checkout? This is interesting. What is happening? I've never seen this before. Okay. I don't really understand that. This is a free font. Alrighty, let's try this again. Apparently my Design Space needed an update and it decided that it needed one right then and there. So here we are again. Gonna go over to Make It and see if it fixed it. Yes, it did. We are good to go. All right, go to Continue. My Maker is connected. Thank you very much. So we're gonna set our base material here. This is where you're going to select what type of material you are going to be cutting with your Cricut. or other machine if you're using Design Space for another machine. You can totally do that, by the way. But it's very finicky and very confusing. I haven't really tried it. I don't have another machine, but I've heard you can do it. But I don't always believe what you hear. So anyways, set your base material. Here you have your favorites and you have popular. That highlighted backwards. So favorites are just the ones from the list that I typically cut that I have starred right here. Popular are what everyone else is cutting. So you've got all of the materials and you can see that I have not selected these as my favorites because they don't have a cute little orange star on them. You'll go to browse all materials if you want to change your materials. Now the maker can pretty much cut anything that you want, period. So you've got all these options that are under compatible, which is where it's going to automatically take you. Or you can go to all materials and it's literally the same thing because Cricut can cut everything. So you have your alt materials, your favorites, and your compatible. If you have a joy, you want to stick with compatible because you don't want to try to cut something that the joy cannot cut. It'll be very frustrating and the possibility of ruining your machine or your blade are substantial. So we have the categories up here, just the different categories where everything falls under. Or the easiest option is to search all materials for the exact type of material that you're cutting. Say vinyl. Boom. You have all of your vinyl here. If you know the specific vinyl that you want, you can type that in. Or not. Cricut does not like me this morning. We'll just go to vinyl. Premium vinyl does cut the same as removable. Also premium outdoor vinyl, so that would be your 651 or 631. Or you can do the non-adhesive vinyl stuff for leather, like seats and whatnot, which is pretty cool. Or you can just go flat out vinyl. So you'll select which one you want. And there's material settings down here that you can select from, which is the same place that we went to earlier on in the video before Design Space decided that it needed an update. So you'll select which one that you want, and I'm just going to do regular vinyl. Now here you can add more pressure, default pressure, or less pressure. Depending on what type of vinyl you're cutting, you want to do more or less. So if I'm cutting through that frosted shimmer glitter-ish, I always put more pressure. Always, always, always. The only exception for that is if I'm doing a really fine cut. But let's be honest, I don't do really fine cuts with that frosted shimmer glitter-ish. Because it just is, it's terrible. It is so difficult to weed. But anyway, so anytime I'm cutting any type of glitter vinyl, I'm going to hit that more pressure button because in order for the blade to get through it without having to go through a couple times, it is just easier. Again, trust me on that one. Learned it from the learn from my mistakes. So here it tells you what tools are required in A, B, and then you'll hit your load, unload button. Now, for this, you can, if you select certain materials, it'll let you edit the tools. I don't remember which materials it is that it lets you edit the tools. I'm just going to go through here and find which one that it will allow me to edit the tools. Oh my goodness. And of course, when I'm trying to show you something, it's not going to let me. Will it let me with the chipboard? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Of course not. Because that would make life way too easy, right? Right. Alright, I guess that I'm not going to show you that because it's just being there we go. So because you can use for this, for any fabric, it's going to automatically take you to the fine point blade. Don't do it. Make your life easier. Get the rotary blade, period. There's a video on that, on the different blades. Go look at it. Rotary blade all the way for your fabric cuts. I'm just telling you, it doesn't stick. It doesn't get crumble up. It just is beautiful. All right, so that, my friends, is pretty much everything that you could possibly need to know about selecting materials in Design Space. Thank you for bearing with me while I went through that Cricut update. I have no idea why Design Space decides that it just randomly wants to update in the middle of a project. Cracks me up. Anyway, so that's all about your material selection and customization in Design Space. I learned a lot. I hope that you learned a lot. And go ahead and subscribe so that you can keep on learning with me. I'd love to keep teaching and keep learning with you guys. It's just so much fun for me. I hope it is fun for you too. So subscribe, hit the bell, give me a like if you liked this video. And until next time, we'll see you later.